Right, welcome YouTubers. Hello all you tatsters. Finally I found a way, not the way I originally tried admittedly, to try and tell you something about some sales that I made sort of halfway through October, into the beginning of this month, November. Made slightly more awkward by the presence of a very furry animal on my lap, the cat. So, without any further ado, I will try and do this one-handed. Oops. Right, here we go. This first item here, you'll see from all the keywords, I really went overboard with all the keywords, is very hippie, very sort of gap year kind of feel to it. And I put in the words hippie, Nepal, psych, etc., as well as heavy and warm, because it's got to be the biggest, heaviest jacket I have ever laid eyes on. Beautifully made, hand knitted, fleecy lined, very lovely, but enormous. So it photographed quite well, and I was very pleased to take the I didn't get that full asking price because I started taking offers on things, and I will go into that. I took an offer of 35 on it because it took up so much space, so I was glad to have it gone, because I did only pay £4.50 for it in a charity shop. So if I leave something out while I'm saying this, I've already done this recording once and it failed, so I'm on my second round, so please bear with me. But you can see it was very colourful, lots of tassels, deeply out there. There's something to wear, but it'll keep people warm. Actually, it could keep several people warm. It was really lovely. I think I had it under men's because the sleeves were so long. I think that's what told me. But it was handmade in Nepal, so I was quite happy to put that in my keywords. Very happy with that sale. On to the next one. These are sort of going backwards, so this was yesterday's sales. I have only picked out the very interesting and the pretty good ones. There are an awful lot of small things that weren't such great profit, so don't be misled and thinking, oh God, she only ever sells anything for 30 or 40 quid. Not so. But I am trying, as part of my game plan, to keep my profits higher, to not have so much stuff. And that's also why I've just gone for it and put best offer on everything, because I want to clear down some space so I can buy in the new year. I'm rethinking some of the things I'm stocking. I'm trying to get rid of sticky stock, and I reckon now's probably as good a time as any to do it. So a bit of a change of direction there, a bit of a change of plan, because I enjoy the shopping and the sourcing, and if I've got so much stuff I can't do it anymore, then that's going to take some of the fun out of it. And for all that we do these things for money, and of course that's really, really handy that we get money for it, there needs to be a certain joy in it. So it's keeping it fresh and keeping their motivations. You know, I wouldn't have done everything best offer as a new eBayer. I would have wanted to see how my market was and how the land lied. But I just want to flip things a little bit faster and realise some cash back quite quickly. So there we go. This one, a Ted Baker, enormous thing. As you can probably see here, it's absolutely huge. It's not purple, it's blue. The camera does very funny things with navy blue and brown, as we all know. But it's kind of a big poncho thing, and I found out that it's called Annette was the style. It's worth finding out the style, especially on the high-end items, because then you can put it in the keywords, and people who are looking for that will find it and will pay for it. It said small to medium. To be honest, I think it would have fitted much bigger sizes, but it's meant to be worn that large. It had a little cashmere in it, and I should have put that in my keywords, and I've slipped up there because I didn't. I got £49.99 for it, and I did actually pay £8 for it in a charity shop, which I thought was pretty good. I'm pretty much now doing all of my description listing up here in the item condition section, because I'm aware that, excuse the peeping, someone's reversing there. I'm fully aware that people don't often go down and read the description. I want to have something in there, so I just copy and paste exactly the same thing into my descriptions, so it fills out the fields. But I like to declare things up front, so there's absolutely no issue. Obviously cashmere is the thing everyone will look out for and it will always sell, but I will usually say, even if I've debobbled extensively, that there may be some bobbling because I might have missed some, and cashmere just does that. So there we go, another lovely thing. £8 paid, happy sale. Moving on, another sort of wintry kind of thing. This was by a brand called Maxima Weekend. I think I've spoken about them before. That's their label. They're a good quality. The Weekend is the more casual range. Maxima is quite a formal, high-end range. Very nice stuff. Oh dear, that wasn't a good picture, was it? There we go. The fabric itself was sort of almost white and striped. So you know, you look at it long enough. God, you look at it long enough. That's a bad picture snuck in there. But beautiful thing with really nice detail. And I tend to find if anything's got its name written on its. Excuse me. Oi! Stop doing that. Here we go. Sorry, my mouse has got a mind of its own. Anything that's got its name written on its buttons is generally going to be quite high-end, because that's expensive to have your buttons specially produced. And these were particularly fine, nice, big, shiny buttons. So I liked that very much and thought that was a great thing. It's really stylish, a bit of a military touch to it, nice funnel neck and deeply warm. Ooh, someone's given me an offer. So, okay, that's what has come up there, $49.99. What did I pay for that? I paid £5 for it. I actually took an offer of $35 on this. I have had it hanging around a while, and I was just feeling very generous that night. I had a very sweet message from somebody, and I thought, you know, why not? Sometimes I'm just like that, and sometimes I'm a mardy cow and I don't. But, you know, I just put best offer and everything, so I really thought I should be open to it. Here we go. This actually was something of mine, so it didn't cost me anything in the sense of expenses. I bought this a couple of years ago, obviously slightly ahead of the curve of the trend for very large knit, comfy, cosy blankies. I actually found that because it was acrylic, it was, I don't know, I'm a real texture thing, and although it was soft, it was a bit, it was acrylic, let's let that suffice. I used the word hug, whatever they say, the word of the week. All about comfort and softness and coziness, and I chucked it in there because you'll see it in every single interiors section of every publication going. And it is extremely snuggly, and it was larger than average. Difficult colour to photograph, very difficult, but we got there in the end. Thank goodness for being able to brighten up and amend your pictures on eBay, because some of them came out that colour. It's not the pea green, it's that green. And it was a lovely big knitty thing, really brilliant. So that's gone off to a happy customer. I sold that for $30, so we're still in the offers territory. This is still fairly recent. Right, heading back a bit further, I'm now 12th of November. Okay, so we're not in offers now. These are the prices that people actually paid. You will know the Orvis brand because I think quite a lot of people have talked about it. But this Zambezi twill travel waistcoat gilet with leather trim is what they're actually very well known for in the wider world. They're kind of sporting clothes, you know, not sporting as in fit, obviously, but as in athletic, as in the fishing, shooting kind of brigade, I suppose. Really well made, very heavy canvas, all leather trimmed, and obviously something that people like if they're into those kind of sports, or if they just want to look as if they're into those kind of sports, which I'm quite suspicious that happens. So I did quite well on this, $24.99. I picked it up for £3 in a charity shop. It was just in with ordinary waistcoats and stuff. I've actually sold trousers in this Zambezi range that also have that leather trim or suede trim, and I've got a jacket on, I think, which is going to go for more, which is in the same kind of thing. There's been a sort of rash of these things coming in to the charity shops, and I'm doing okay with them, so I'm very happy with that. Like I say, don't discount these brands just because they don't look sort of like ordinary clothes. Alright, this has to be my sale of the month because I love this. Tall, elegant, sweeping tweed cape. There we are. Let me get the price up. There we are. Don't know why I priced it. Oh, disappeared. There, because I'd done that, that's why. God, me and technology. Right, so this piece of gorgeousness was a find at the kind of fair that I went to where someone was selling some of their clothes. And I paid £15 for this. I knew it was valuable because Jimmy Hurahan, I found one of these way back about a year or so ago and sold one off to Japan. This one's gone to the United States. They're handmade. It is a tweed type fabric. It's very heavy. Luckily I'm quite good at repairs because it did have some issues where the lining had ripped and needed repairing, so it was wearable. Of course I declared that. The repairs were done. I wasn't trying to hide anything. They were done functionally, and somebody could get them redone. The button was a little chewed up for some reason. God knows what they've been doing. Yes, this is obviously meant for quite a tall person because I'm 5'9" in my stockinged feet, as the saying goes. And yeah, it was as long as I'd need it on me. So the 5'2" woman that sold it to me as having been hers, I was slightly suspicious that it probably wasn't, or she'd have been trailing around like a wedding train behind her. But it was a fabulous thing. It's gone off to the States. It was a little sticky, you know, it's a bit unusual, but I'm sure it's being enjoyed, or will be enjoyed when it gets there. Things take ages on GSP to America, and I'm always slightly sweaty that they've not arrived, but hopefully it will. Another oddity, I suppose. Well, look at it. I mean, come on, that's an oddity. It's a Romany style. It might have been a bridesmaid dress or something like that for some big occasion. It was very, very pristine. I've actually got another one of these in a smaller size. It's labelled age 6. The key being is not only is it incredibly chintzy and overblown with roses attached, it's got all netting underneath. There's a lot of netting going on under here. God, so many layers. You'd lose the child in it. You truly would. Fastened in at the back there. But it actually comes with a little ribbon on it. And there's this brand, which is Chantel. Chantel Originals, which is, I think it's the lady who makes for the gypsy, big fat gypsy weddings. I think, I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's her. And all her dresses come with a tiny little bell sewn into the lining, so you jingle as you walk. Jingle bells. Not for everybody, but there you go. I suppose it means you know where your child is at a given point in time. Always handy. Has the label Chantel Originals, and it also says if it has not got a bell, it is not a Chantel. So it's a brand that is sought after in certain quarters, and I sold this one for £24.99, which was very pleasing, as the dress itself cost me £2, as did the other one that hasn't gone yet. Yeah. Yeah, strange. But there you go, sometimes odd things sell. Not so odd, definitely vintage and really rather lovely, were these Salvatore Ferragamo, one of my favourite brands for shoes and bags, and scarves, of course. These are a vintage brand, and they're in suede, black suede, and they're a nice little blocky court heel, loafery style with the sort of snaffly horsebit kind of arrangement on the front. Very high end is Ferragamo, very expensive, brand new. These had hardly been worn. I mean, it's a tiny bit of wear to the heels. I always show the soles because the soles, of course, in high-end shoes are generally leather. Where it looks dark there, that wasn't worn to. I think probably where they'd stepped in some chewing gum if I look at it closely now. But much as I love leather soles, they're bloody slippery if it's wet. So what a lot of people do is they will pay out for their high-end shoes with their leather soles, and then they'll actually get them sold. You know, they actually have leather soles put on, which is damn sight more practical and saves you going up base over apex. I was about to say something else. Base over apex in front of the school mums at the end of the day. So, rather lovely, very nice. It says size 8B. These are, of course, an American size. We have to be careful with this. Some brands are American sized. That I checked was equivalent to a UK 5.5, which is a good size. So they were rather lovely. I showed they're not perfect inside, but they're perfectly decent. So they went quite quickly, actually. I hadn't had those for very long. £44.99. I did pay, where are they? I did pay £8 at a flea market for those, but I thought that was fair dues, really, because they were pretty good quality. God knows what a charity shop would have put on them. But there we go. Lovely. Right, onwards. Okay. This, I did put a little bolo out because I wanted to highlight to people. Denim skirts are a thing right now. Who knew? These long numbers particularly, and the ones with the sort of flippy hem at the bottom, this kind of fishtail hem, flippy hem. People like these a great deal. These were very jeans styly. They were, of course, Peruna and Marks and Spencer do excel at these. You'll find them everywhere, and they're easy money. You pay £3 or £4 for them, you get £20 to £22 back. Not such a bad thing. These went at full price, also because they're long length and a 14. So being a really long length helps, because us taller ladies do like to have our maxi skirts actually be maxi skirts. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. Pick them up wherever you see them. Most charity shops will have at least one. So yeah, I did say that I paid £3 for that, usual rate. Now this has got to be one of the world's ugliest coats. It looks like a dish rag. It really does. I did my best. I really did my best with my photography, and I still feel like I failed. But for 50 quid, it was worth it. Now, actually, this is its second outing. It's gone off to. It has gone off to. No, it's gone off to the UK this time as well, thankfully. I've said it's very oversized. I've explained, I've measured, I've listed, given all the details. I've even gone into the little bit of fading on the bum where someone's obviously sat down on it. This particular style Hinako, you can look it up. It is meant to be worn. Absolutely huge. The image that came to mind is it sort of makes you look like a rather large used tea bag. But hey, there you go. And as we all know, green and navy, black and brown are horrible colours to photograph. So it isn't easy. This very distressed look, by the way, is actually how it is supposed to look as well. I had to check that one out because I wasn't too sure. It's huge. There's the label. I think you'll all know and love Oscar. But coats too, yeah. An interesting one. So I'm hoping that this doesn't come back to me again this time. It came back the last time because it was too big, in spite of me explaining. But as we all know, not every purchaser out there is fully equipped with the reasoning powers that the likes of us have. So, never mind. I was happy with that. I think I did pay £10 for it in a charity shop because I knew the brand was good. So, not a bad return. That works in my book. Guernsey woolens. I love Guernsey woolens. I've sold a few of these. Always keep an eye out for them. They're not that common, but I do see them every now and again. They're just so beautifully made. Guernsey woolens. There's the label. Made in Guernsey, British Isles. So they're not new things. They've been around for a while. Some are more vintage than others. You have to check flipping carefully for moth holes. These are the sort of things that people will buy on a holiday and then stick in a cupboard and then wonder why it's got half a dozen holes in it. Worth checking. This is rather bright, but I've done it to show the beautiful different knit stitches. I'm not a knitter, so I can't tell you what they are. I'm not a knitter. God, that's hard to say. But you'll find they have all these wonderful sort of edgings and detailings. They're very square cut. They're not thick, but they're heavy. Beautiful, beautiful, soft wool. They're worth quite a bit of money. In fact, the ones that have RNLI splashed across the front here, they go for quite a bit more money because everyone wants to be a lifeboat man, I guess, or woman. Was this a woman or a man's? That's got me looking now. Can't see it. Anyway, it can be worn by either, obviously. It's always a bit of a problem with jumpers because they tend to make you want to put them into one or the other. Yeah, a lovely, lovely thing. I always show a picture of the cuffs as well, just so people can see they're not eaten away with moths. This was being bought as a gift for somebody, which I thought was slightly daring, to buy something second-hand as a gift. But never mind, it went for £50, and I did only pay £4 for it. And this is probably about the 5th or 6th one I've sold this year. Lovely, lovely things, worth keeping an eye out for. Right, next on the list is a name that you may not have heard of. Annette Gortz. Would you know that was Annette Gortz? That looks like a mouse has kind of scrawled across the page with ink in its balls. But there she is, thankfully written out. Annette Gortz, Gortz.com. Since 1984. Positively ancient. Anyway, this was very small size, which is why I didn't keep it. But if I show you the labels are in it. The reason I initially went for it is because it had this look. Any jacket with this look screams steampunk, pirate, parties, everything. Unusually it had poppers, which was surprisingly awkward to do up, and sort of very big pockety things at the front, and strings, bizarrely, but quite nicely made. Not as high quality as I would have expected for what they go for. This was only a size 8. It sold on its first cycle for £40, and I was quite pleased because I paid £2 when it was one of those £2, everything's £2 days at one of my charity shops. So yeah, quite pleased with that. I don't know if I'll ever see another Annette Gortz because I think she's quite rare. But yeah, there we go. Did I spell Annette Gortz right? I'm wondering now. Yes, I did. It just didn't have the 2 eyebrows over it. Right, now, prepare to be boggled. This wee monstrosity. It's so deeply ugly, it's cool. It's certainly in at the moment. The whole Bolero thing, as we know, has been doing the rounds for some time. Boleros are endlessly popular. They're going to be popular for the winter, for parties, over all those little tiny strappy dresses that people wear. Yeah, there's not a lot I can say about this, except not only is it velvet, not only has it got a very bold floral pattern on it, it also had a sort of impressed into the velvet, what I've called a jacquard pattern, because I think that's as close as it gets. So sort of pattern on pattern. It's a real feast for the eyes, and I think I'd get a headache if I saw that for too long. But anyhow, it'd probably go great over something black where it's not competing with anything else. So there we have it, a lovely thing. That was another one of those. Actually, that was in a filler bag for £5. One charity shop just once over 2 days decided that they were going to have these not enormous little plastic bags, and that you paid £5, because unlike Wales and now lovely Caroline in Wales, we don't get filler bag for £1. But you know, a £5 was still fairly good doings, and I managed to shove this in along with lots of other things, and it's amazing how stretchy those little bags can be. I don't think they're going to do another filler bag for a £5 day, because I think they got cleaned out. Yes, indeed. So, I think I talked about it in one of my haul videos where I actually managed to get a Burberry jacket into one of these things and a couple of extra items. But anyway, just goes to show what you can do if you try. Oh, that wasn't such a good picture, was it? There we go. It's no brand at all. It's fairly nondescript, a size 10. But that sold very quickly. It did have slightly puffy shoulders, which people like, always worth mentioning. Very 80s. Sold for £20. Probably owes me about 50p if that. Lovely, lovely. Next, linens, fabrics. That's a better picture there. This, oh excuse me, yawning. It's about the third time I've done this morning, that's why. Right, what do I need to say? This was nearly 4 yards of what looks like a fairly ordinary, unprepossessing bit of fabric. I'm a bit of a fan of anything Art Nouveau, or Art Deco for that matter. I quite like certain styles. This was called Blackthorn Minor. This is the name of the fabric. Made in the United Kingdom, obviously telling me that's a quality piece and vintage. Actually made in 1987 by Arthur Sanderson and Sons. These guys were famous for doing designs inspired and copied from William Morris, with the permission, of course. Liberty also did the same, but these are sought after too. This would be probably curtain fabric, possibly it wasn't heavy. Again, this went for £55. I'd had it for quite a while. It's a bit of a dark colourway. It's not the most popular. The bright ones tend to do better. But that was quite good, because I think I only paid about £3.50 for it. And linen doesn't take up a massive amount of room. And I have to say that if you're someone who sort of started off in eBay doing things like clothes and maybe some shoes, you know, do look at the linens, because it's easy to research. And there are certain things that go very well. And if you're already in the shop looking at that sort of thing, you may as well push your comfort zones a little bit and have a go with some linens, because there's some amazing fabrics out there. There's an awful lot of rubbish as well. So it's a good opportunity to make some money and learn at the same time. So my next thing, this was out of my comfort zone. Build a bear. What a big bundle that was. Now, I've had a lot of sticky bears. Oh, God, that sounded wrong. Okay, let me just rewind slightly. I can't edit that out because I don't know how to edit. Even the cats looked at me strangely. Right, yes, when I say sticky bears, I mean Build-A-Bear plushies. That's the word, plushies. That just, I can't sell. Unless you've got very specific ones. There's sort of some rainbow ones and very fancy ones that will sell. But, God, they take up space and they don't go. So when I saw a bag of stuff on the floor of the charity shop with a big £5 label on it, I thought, I wonder what that is. I took a little look in and I knew. I thought, they're Build-A-Bear. So I just grabbed the bag. I didn't even bother looking, you know. I grabbed the bag, paid my £5 and fled out of that shop before anyone could stop me. It's like, yes. This bundle is only part of it. This is the majority of it, and this sold for £70 for a £5 spend. I've also sold a Manchester United bear kit, and also a selection of boy bear, because these are all girl bear things. A selection of kind of boy bear. a smaller bundle for about 20 odd quid, and also there was a load of baby Annabelle stuff which I'd never heard of, and although I thought it was all pretty ropey, that sold quite well as well for quite a few quid. So I probably made nearly 100 quid out of this lot. I was quite happy, really, to be perfectly honest. And I'll be looking for this stuff again, so yeah, whee! Sorry, if you're hearing a slight sort of murmuring in the background, that's because I've got a very fluffy fairy cat trying to sit on my lap, and yet I'm at a bit of an angle, so he's sort of falling off. Anyway, you probably didn't really need to know that. We are not a pet-free home. Whoops, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I sat back and got my popcorn out when that came up. I thought, oh my woolly word, someone opened a right can of worms there. And in answer to it all, I don't say that I have a smoke-free or pet-free home, because although I am smoke-free, I can't guarantee the stuff that comes in. In terms of pet-free, no. I do my best. But it's amazing how much stuff comes in covered in dog hairs. And I shed my own hairs anyway, so what can I say? Right, moving on. That's the controversial bit over with. These fairly unprepossessing looking jeans are by brand 883 Police. They'd been unworn. They still had that sort of very new stiffness about them, so they really hadn't been worn at all. Just the labels had gone. And I thought, they're so hideous. They were all distressed up. Lopsided buckles here. I mean, honestly, really over the top. But they had a decent label and they had a style name, so of course I pulled up comps because I was in one of those chatty shops where you can without everybody seeing. Nice button fly. That's what the hems look like. That's what the hems are meant to look like. But there we go. Oh, pardon me, but there we go. So, not the most attractive of jeans. They had these strange sort of embellishments on. Anyway, turns out this 883 Police brand is quite sought after, and if you see them, pick them up. I'd never seen before, I've never seen them since. But they sold for £40, and I didn't pay much for them, I don't believe. I only paid £3.50. I don't pay a lot for jeans. I might pay a little bit more for some Armani ones, or particularly Levi's ones, but I still have some backlog of jeans, which is why I've got my best offers on, because I actually want to clear some space. So there we go, nice. East. We all know East is a good brand, don't we? This was a bit more unusual because it's East Artisan with Anoki. And you may or may not know that Anoki is a pretty high-end brand. It's that Indian-y look. We all know the Paisley job. And this is the dress. Could be from anybody from the first look of it. It's really rather nice. It was sort of double-lined and quite heavy. It actually has this lovely gold detailing. I thought, that's such a nice touch. Well made. But yes, the East from Anoki label didn't hurt at all. And I found this on the pound rail at the charity shop. So when I realised what it was, I certainly grabbed that quite swiftly. It needed a good iron, mind you. It looked like it'd been... There we are, yeah. These ones you can't wash. If you've ever had anything that's Indian-y like this, you have to wash it in cold water because all the colour just flows out. It's just... I don't know what they use to dye with, but they certainly don't fix them in any way. Yeah, nice and lined as well. So that was a really lovely find. That did sell for full price, for £44.99 for £1 spend. I think that's pretty much a sale of the month as well. I was quite impressed with that, and I will try to find another one. Right, okay, this was wonderful because this went in one of my filler bag for £5. It's amazing what you can get in them when you really, really push. I think they live to regret that poor charity shop. Oh dear. Right, this is a tweedy jacket. Now, tweed's having a bit of a moment, so is houndstooth, dogtooth, whatever you care to call it. It's having a moment in both male and female wear. This has got a real country feel to it. It had a couple of nice horn buttons. Beautiful quality lining. I knew this was a good one. If you look inside the sort of pockets, they often... The inner pocket, usually the sort of wallet pocket, the top right, top left breast pocket, will have a label, a papery label that you can pull out that you're supposed to remove, and nobody ever does. Which is just as well because it contains all the information you want, like the style and everything. So that was all beautifully intact. It was pure new wool. It's by a company called McGee, who I'd not heard of, but they're quite high-end, quite nice quality. What amazed me was just the colours in it. It really had the most incredible colours. I mean, green, blue, red, purple. I mean, it could have been a mess, but it just looked amazing. So that went for the full price of £54.99. I probably paid, it owes me about £1 maybe £2, because it was fill a bag for £5, and I must have got a few other bits in as well. So yeah, if only we get more filler bags for £5, but they're as rare as hen's teeth down in the Garden of England. Most charity shops are quite spendy at the best of times, so I hope they do it again. Right, now these were a good one that I was quite happy to pay out for. These were Armani jeans. Not just any Armani jeans though. I'd certainly say it's worth keeping an eye out for the high waisters, where they have a high rise, and these were button fly as well. So I knew that these were 90s kind of brand. I could tell from the label. They just have that lovely feel, slightly tapered leg, which is also sought after. You can pop in as a keyword if you need to. They went for £30. Quite impressed with that. I paid £3.50 again. I was part of a deal at a bundle of stuff at a flea market. Was very, very happy with that. So finally, I feel like I haven't paused for breath. Like on a runaway train. Right. I knew I owed you guys a sales video, so I just had to get on my arse and do it. Here we have probably my favourite brand of boots, or one of my favourite boots that I love deeply. These are Fly London. These are only a size 4, but it goes to show, don't dismiss the smaller sizes if the price on them isn't too bad. These were a black patent leather version of their fairly classic boots, the Yell boot. Always worth looking up the style in these. They have this strange thing where the heel does go up at the back, so don't think, oh my god, they need rehealing. The heel actually does that, and it does at the front too. It makes walking so much easier. I swear by my Fly boots. They're about the most comfortable heeled boots that you can wear. For me, they're wide enough for my plates of meat, and they stay on my feet properly. So they were really lovely, these. You'll know if they're real Fly, if they're not just trying to pretend to be Fly, because they will have that on the sole. If this is worn out, then you know that they've had a lot of wear. If it's in good nick, you can see there's hardly any wear to those. I used to kind of go to great lengths to absolutely clean the soles out totally 100%. I tend not to now, because the fact they have been worn, this is sort of reasonably honest. I think, yes, look, they have been worn, but they are still in very good condition. So I kind of hit a bit of a middle ground with it. Also, I'm quite lazy and I haven't got time to clean everything 100%. So I feel that's quite an honest depiction of a really nice pair of shoes. They weren't worn inside. You can see they were lovely. Tiny little ding on the heel that I showed. Again, I declare that in my condition report, which is also in the description, so no one can say I haven't declared it all fairly. They went for 38. No, I took an offer on these by the look of things. No, I didn't. Excuse me, I can't read today. They did go for the full price, and I did pay £5 for them in the charity shop. I might have paid slightly more for a bigger size, but a £5 was pretty good, and they needed quite a clean up actually. So yeah, they weren't looking their best when they were in the charity shop, and that's how I like to find them. So thank you very, very much for watching. I'm so sorry it's taken me quite so long to do this. I found that because I'm really trying to up my business, most of my time is spent sourcing, photographing and listing and packing and posting and swearing because I can't find something, and realising I actually need to do a bit of an overhaul in my stockroom. So yeah, so I've not been quite as attentive to sharing, but it'd be nice to do a live haul sometime. But I tend to find I get the stuff home, photograph it, stick it in bags before I've even thought to show you a haul. So I shall try and be a bit more disciplined with doing that, because everybody loves a good haul. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, blah de blah. And you can also, I think there's a little bell thing that will tell you when I actually have produced something, so that you don't miss it completely once in the blue moon. I hope that your stock hunting is going well. I hope your sales are doing well. And even if, like me, you're not really a Q4 bunny because you don't sell Christmassy stuff, there's an awful lot of self-gifting that goes on. So hopefully everyone will self-gift with your lovely stuff. And I will put another video up as soon as I possibly can. I can't promise because I'm just so disorganised. But thank you very much for watching. and I shall say bye bye.